1985 landmark. The hacker culture becomes a movement. In 1984, Richard Stallman resigned from MIT to found the Free Software Foundation. The goal was to create an entirely open source operating system. This was the purpose of the GNU project. Right out of the gate, he published some interesting opinion pieces. One of these was the 4 freedoms that he felt coders should have. The freedom to run the program as you wish for any purpose. The freedom to study how the program works and adapt it to your needs. The freedom to redistribute copies so you can help your neighbor. And the freedom to improve the program and release your improvements to the public so that the whole community benefits. I find the emphasis on helping your neighbor and community benefit intriguing. This was a new philosophical element and took the whole concept of hacking to a completely different level. From the GNU Manifesto, a little bit more from Richard Stallman. I consider that the golden rule requires that if I like a program, I must share it with other people who like it. Software sellers want to divide the users and conquer them, making each user agree not to share with others. I refuse to break solidarity with users in this way, so that I can continue to use computers without dishonor. I have decided to put together a sufficient body of free software so that I will be able to get along without any software that is not free. Again, notice the references to honor and principle. This is classic Stallman, who, by the way, is coming to Chicago to speak next week. Several of us have the details, so pipe up if you're curious about that. 1986 landmark. Major commercial vendor collaboration and funding of a large-scale and specifically open-source project. This landmark we'll talk about in the context of the X-Window system out of MIT. X-Window is a client-server system for managing a graphical user interface. The itch it scratched was that all the students at MIT needed a consistent user interface, but there was not money, nor did it make a bit of sense to replace all the machines. Eventually, the promising academic project found commercial collaboration, and a nonprofit group was founded with the explicit purpose of providing neutral territory for development on X-Windows. Eventually, this group became the Open Group and has gone on to do much more important standards type of work. X-Windows is still perfectly relevant and under active development today. Early 1990s landmark, in which we learned the hard way that it's all about the license. Honestly, I don't know how to characterize the progression of BSD and Unix in the 1990s with respect to open source. At the same time, it's definitely too significant to skip. It means something, I'm not totally sure what. The thing I'm most comfortable saying is that on the whole, it serves as an excellent lesson in how not to do open source. So BSD continued to evolve since we talked about it last in the 80s in true hacker style, and the code base continued to be in high demand within the academic community. It continued to ship with a source, but it required that recipients hold an AT&T license to use. This is a problem, because now Bell Labs has been liberated from AT&T, clearing the way for Unix owners to profit financially from Unix, which they very much want to do. With the threat of lawsuits looming and on a leap of faith, the work was undertaken to separate the code bases and make a BSD that is free and clear of all AT&T code. In 1991, an entire BSD operating system, kernel included, was completed for the Intel 386 architecture. Yay! Sadly, though, in 1992, the legal battles began formally with a lawsuit from Unix System Laboratories, who owned the Unix code base by now, and then a countersuit from Berkeley. In 1994, the settlements were complete, but not before nearly sucking the life out of BSD just when it got to its feet. Happily, today FreeBSD and other derivatives remain perfectly relevant, but certainly less strong for having lost 2 critical years of development time and talent. 1991 landmark. The open source movement becomes self-aware. A lot of things start happening at this point. By 1991, GNU was a complete set of sophisticated utilities. GCC, Make, GNOME, C Shell, and a very long other list of utilities it is easy to take for granted today. All of these are documented at gnu.org. And then in 1991, Linus Torvalds starts Linux. Later, Linus said that had he known about the BSD effort, he would not have started something new. I'm doing a free operating system, just a hobby, won't be big and professional like GNU, for 386 and 486 AT clones. I've currently ported Bash and GCC, and things seem to work. I'd like to know what features most people would want. P.S. Yes, it's free of any Minix code, and it has a multi-threaded file system. It is not portable, and it probably will never support anything other than AT hard disks, as that's all I have, frowny face. Really, :frowny face. As you know, Stallman's GNU plus Torvalds Linux was a complete market blowaway. In 1993, Red Hat founded as a support company around Linux. In 1997, The Cathedral and the Bazaar was published by Eric Raymond. This is an important analysis of the success of open source with particular reference to Linux. In 1998, the Netscape code was liberated, which turned into Mozilla, which turned into Firefox. In 1998, also, a confidential Microsoft memo was leaked to Eric Raymond, in which Microsoft acknowledges the threat of open source to their business and suggests strategies for disrupting it. These are known as the Halloween documents. Also in 1998, the Open Software Institute was founded. OSI provides important, well, not governance, but helpful guidance to the movement as a whole. In 2005, Ubuntu was founded. In 2005, Google acquired Android. In 2012, Red Hat makes $1 million. And in 2013, the city of Munich runs Linux on the desktops. Sorry, I missed that slide change there.